legal status. Many people fail to respond to RFE or file an application before the deadline. This is why we offer a strategy session for 15 minutes at no cost to you. Not everyone qualifies. First, you need to speak with our CARES team. We receive many requests, so we recommend you answer a few questions on our website, greencardguys.com. Our mission is to help people live and work in America legally. Go ahead and subscribe below and follow and share. Talk to you soon. What's going on? Today's topic is about why some cases zoom past yours and get approved when you filed a long time ago. Folks, welcome to Green Card Guys TV. I'm your host, John Ting. I'm here to solve your immigration problem and prevent it from happening in the first place. All right, welcome to the show. And here we are. We have some information, some insights to share with you today. And here's the deal, folks. If you have any questions, you're welcome to drop it in the comment section. And I'm going to do my best of my ability to answer your questions. Depending on the situation, I might have to cut off shorter than normal on the show, but depending on meetings. But here's the deal, folks, okay? And here we go. The first thing about marriage cases specifically is that if you filed the old advice, meaning like last year's advice, is that don't even worry about providing the medical exam, all right? Because that you could bring that to the interview, right? But in 2023, the trend is that these cases, sorry, I'm trying to get the angle right. Okay, the trend is that these cases were getting approved without a waiver, but to get it waived, you need to have substantial marriage evidence and also the medical exam. And some of you might be wondering, well, why do you need a medical exam? That is for the grounds of inadmissibility related to health. So they want to make sure you don't have certain diseases, that you took certain vaccines like the COVID-19 vaccine. And I get it. Some of y'all still don't want to take it. I can understand why, some of the reasons at least. There is a waiver out there, 601, that you can file. But anyways, not going into full detail about that on the show, is that ultimately the best way to get these cases waived is for that substantial marriage evidence. And no, it's not just a marriage certificate. Some of y'all call in and think that's all you need to file. Some of y'all call in and say, okay, well, I did file with my joint bank account. Okay, cool. But it's a new era. You can't just have a new joint bank account or added your spouse to it. You need to have substantial transaction activity. Because honestly, if I was a USCIS officer, I'm going to look at the details of the transaction activity into the statement. And look, if it's got 5 expenses or income, whatever, something's a little fishy. And sure, you might have multiple accounts. That's cool. Then use the account that you use the most often, right? Some of y'all are a little shy with your spouse because you're like, well, I don't know that person that well. I don't trust him or her. Well, if that's the case, why'd y'all get married? Okay. So hopefully at this point is that if you got married to someone, hopefully you trust them enough to share an account together where you actually use that account. Some of y'all put like $500 in there. I don't know. If I was an officer, I'm like, is that your main account? Fortunately, knock on wood, never had an officer ask that question. Seriously, knock on wood. I hope no one asked that. But if I were an officer, I'd probably ask that because I know there's multiple other accounts. And then, why don't you trust them enough to add them to the other one? But then that's what a prenup's for, okay? That's what a lawsuit in the future is in the worst case scenario. Which, by the way, USCIS is not going to ask I've never had them ask if the married clients have ever signed a prenup. Hopefully they don't ask you that either. But anyways, so if you filed, more practically speaking, if you had filed in sometime in 2022 for a marriage case, and this current information is based on someone who is in the United States, the spouse or both spouses are in the United States and enter with a visa, all right? You enter with a visa, then generally speaking, you can adjust your status in America. Now, the trend of getting cases sped up and approved faster is not for people who are abroad. Okay, I'm sorry, that's not the case. The State Department takes a hell of a long time. USCIS, for some reason, takes even longer just for step one with the petition I-130. I'm not sure why. In fact, I feel like step one should be the fastest because the backlog because of the pandemic, it's what is delaying the visa interviews. Okay, folks. By the way, if you appreciate the way I share information, I try my best to go straight to the point. I'm not doing any fluff around here. If you appreciate it, please tap the screen or give me the click the heart. What do you call the like button on YouTube and Facebook? I greatly appreciate it. And yeah, hey, if you know anyone that is going through an immigration case, or even if you don't know if they have a question, like just share my channel. So say, hey, what's up, friend? Heard from John Ting. I think he shares pretty quality information here. So by the way, we do offer a strategy session for 15 minutes at no cost to you. Okay, no cost to you, but not everyone qualifies for these 15 minutes. Okay, you might have a situation where you're abroad, you already have resident status, and it's just been so many months, so many years. Look, I mean, we've already conducted those consultations. I don't think you can get much value out of that than from our free guide. So our team can email you a free guide in that situation. Also, like for example, if you want to invest $800,000+ USD, hey, cool for you. But those are few scenarios like that we do charge a consultation fee, because you would think if you're going to invest that amount of money that you would spend that for quality advice in a longer consultation. But believe it or not, some investors don't want to pay that. I don't know. It's a little weird, right? So anyways, but we do our best to answer your questions in a strategy session, but also with the mindset of solving your problem. If there is one, maybe there's not a typical problem, and that'd be great, but also guiding you, providing you the steps that it takes and the estimated timeline for pretty much almost every case type. We do have a free guide. Basically, we'll email you a link that you can download the guide. So use that as a resource, folks. So if you're like, well, I'm a little shy, I don't want to talk with an attorney quite yet with Ting Law Group, that's completely fine. Go to our website, greencardguys.com, and you can go scroll down our website and you can download one of those free guides. Let's see here. Or if you don't even want a guide for some odd reason, then you can just go to our website. I think there's a page somewhere you can add your name to our email list, and you'll get information about, red flags and whatnot. Okay, now I will go to the question. Misty, I know I will get to your questions. Don't worry. All right, I talk too much, so let me go to the questions. All right, Maria, I'm paying attention now. Let's see. And I see you on YouTube as well. Don't worry. Okay, Sherry, nice to see you. Thank you. Let me go up to the top here. JV, let me pin your comment. Okay, JV, VAWA approved since July 2022, 485 interview, January 23. Okay, so no decision yet. It's almost October. It's time to consider filing a lawsuit. Okay, I mean, of course, in this situation, you already had an interview, so you might want to try submitting inquiry, but you're probably not going to get anywhere with that, unfortunately. Even if anyone else has a case that's in a different stage, usually inquiries don't really do much. It's just there to be available. Okay, it might give a little bit more insight, like still conducting background check, but it's a bunch of BS. Like, okay, if you're conducting background check, how long should that take? It's ridiculous. All right, Shani, how long does I-130 take for a minor child overseas? If U.S. citizen husband submit a petition? I mean, the USCIS.gov, by the way, folks, has a processing timetable. If some of y'all already know that, you could do the drop-down menu and select, the family relationship. But just generally speaking, petitions can take 10 to 12 months. So what I was saying earlier on the top of the show is that where those are being sped up and that were filed in 2023. Again, that is only for people who are married, and for there was no official policy, but just based on experience with ourselves, our office, and our colleagues, that was for married cases, or people who are married and those who are here in the United States. But for you're abroad, for some reason, those petition only, the first step takes much longer. And that's only the first step. You got a whole way to go. It could take overall, Sean, it could take up to 2 years. All right, to wait for the interview as well. Ferd, how long is State Department taking? I don't know what stage your case is, because pretty much after petition's completed, Department of State takes the rest of the way. So, and I don't know your family relationship, but assuming it's a marriage case, it's still and not a family preference at least, then I mean, just generally after petition approved, there's a lot of mini steps, so it's hard for me to just average it out. I think to it would be in your best interest to schedule a strategy session, okay, folks? Which, by the way, our secret code today, all right, is TGIF. Today's Friday, right? TGIF. Okay, use that secret code so that, because our cares team receives a lot of inquiries. We're really grateful. We appreciate everyone's trust. But as a way to benefit y'all that you're watching on the show, but also to our cares team so they don't feel so overwhelmed, please use that secret code. We greatly appreciate it. So the code again is TGIF. All right. So Daniela, what do you do if you wait on a waiver? You want to work but don't have a work permit? Yeah, unfortunately, if you had to file a waiver, then obviously you didn't enter with the visa, then you can't file for the work permit, the 765. So if that's the case, then how long you might want to consider a mandamus lawsuit. If it's been at least 12 months, we sue for that, okay, based on that timing for a waiver. Because before the pandemic, it was average like 6 to 8 months. So we're like, what, quote unquote, 2 years past the pandemic? Like, what the hell's going on? So them saying 44 months on a processing timetable, at least 4 years, almost 4 years, that's ridiculous. So consider filing a mandamus lawsuit. We're happy to assist you. It would be our pleasure. But there's so many lawyers we know that help with that as well. But we have, we're a little different than most lawyers. We actually have a mission statement and a vision statement and benefits to offer y'all, like calling you back, updating you. I know, believe it or not, some lawyers are really bad at that. Okay, Anne-Marie, what can you do if I-130 passes the processing time? Number one, submit inquiry. Since it's already passed, in the live shows, I always say you don't have to wait until the processing timetable to sue the government. But since you're already there, past the processing time, you might as well just submit an inquiry. It should allow you now. I think you have to wait at least 30 days. Again, likely it's not going to go anywhere. I hope it does. But if it doesn't in 30 days, you're welcome to contact us now, just so you have more information about mandamus lawsuit, just to get ready. But we can hold off until 30 days, for example, okay? All right, Josie. Which, by the way, folks, we've had people hire us for a mandamus lawsuit, and then, like, for some reason, like, literally that morning, they pay us a deposit, and then sometime, like, 2 hours later, they get approval or they get the visa issuance. Like, that's some hella good luck. I don't know if we have some rub off, some good luck charm, right? But look, we're going to refund you the money. Okay. We're not going to. So my point is, if you are stretched thin, that you're really frustrated, you have gone up to all these different challenges, don't delay. We're different than many law firms. Maybe some law firms might just keep your money. We're not about that. But of course, if we had filed your lawsuit already, that's different. But literally, there's been a couple of times where people pay us a deposit and then that same day they get some status, which is cool. It's pretty amazing. Anyway, Josie, can I marry a military personnel? Which, by the way, we can back it up. I think there's at least one person that did a Google review about that situation. Can I marry a military personnel you're in love with? Okay. Congratulations on that. With J1 visa is expired and subject to the 212. Yeah. Yeah, you can, but I wonder, actually, we have to check on that, if you can hold off on getting married. And then, because it sounds like you're not married yet, but yeah, there are exceptions to the 2-year restriction for people who have J1 visa holder from before. Okay, we've gotten several approved. Does it work for everyone? No, because it just depends on the country, and it's not always like black and white, like, oh, this country is no. But there's also another exception. The first one that we try is to submit that request directly to the consulate of your country of nationality. If that doesn't work, another option is based on extreme hardship or persecution, almost like asylum in that way. Okay, so contact us. Okay, happy to talk to you more about that. Misty, you have questions? I didn't see your question. What's up? Where's it at? I don't think we missed it, did we? No, we went straight down, I think. Misty, post your question, unless it's all the way down. All right, user 88,000 or 800 submitted AOS with medical. Okay, great. Just received. No biometrics needed. Okay, they reused it. Okay, cool. How long will your case take for approval? I don't know, buddy. I don't know, user. That's $1 million question. But if it's based on marriage, average 3 to 5 months. In fact, we've had some cases among my colleagues, like after we filed it, like maybe 2 weeks later, they might ask for RFE for medical. But you sent in your medical, so that's a good start. All right. Some clients that there is Misty's question. Some clients, like, just in terms of timing, they're not, even though we encourage to get the medical, timing wise, they might not be able to get it. So we file it later. Is it possible to file a waiver before the I-130, or does it have to be after? It does have to be after the petition. I wish we thought about that too. My friends thought about that to save some time, but unfortunately you do have to have the petition approved first. And it's not just petition filed. It does have to be approved first, which, to be honest, makes sense. Typically, I-130s should be approved. There are limited situations where I-130 could be denied. Maybe it's usually identity issues, but yeah, it's freaking annoying. Now, if it was a case where you or your spouse is a beneficiary immigrant, it was eligible for the 485, then we could file the 601 if that's the waiver you needed at the same time. But if it's just you could only file petition first, then you have to wait on that. Okay. Let's see here. All right, Misty, glad we were able to answer your question. You're welcome, JV. All right, Marie, I got that one. Let's see. Gozy, you need our help? Gozy, you need our help? What's up? How can we help you? Do I respond to messages? Yeah, you can DM us. Sometimes we don't have like a long conversation on messages. We just try to get a better idea what your case is about, the message, or maybe we'll just send you a website link, but ultimately a phone call is better. Yes, how to fight a NOID. So the best way we fight a NOID, great question. I mean, these are all great questions, but I always say that when it's like a new question we haven't received in a while. So a NOID, by the way, folks on YouTube, I'll get to your question soon. On Gozy on TikTok, how to fight a NOID. A lot of things to consider. But first thing we tell the USCIS is that the standard of review, okay, your burden, okay, as the applicant, is that we have to show evidence that you're, let's say it's a marriage case, that you are eligible and genuinely married, bona fide marriage. It's more likely to be true, meaning there is a preponderance of evidence standard. So if you know about like in criminal law, this is not anything related to criminal law, of course, but in criminal court, that's beyond a reasonable doubt. That is the highest, most difficult standard. Okay, that there is no doubt that someone is guilty, right? Whereas immigration, it drops down. It's preponderance of evidence. You do have to show evidence, but do you need to show like a huge like book bag of evidence? No, you don't. Do you need to show a 5-inch binder of evidence? No. All right, but if there's some things in the documents that look a little shady or something, we need to address that. All right. So in this NOID, in a notice of intent deny, for the folks that are not aware what this is, and hopefully you don't even have to come across this in your lifetime, it's called notice of intent to deny. This is after an RFE. This is basically or maybe RFE is not even required. Like the USCIS officer looks at the file, looks at the evidence, says, look, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of pages here, but that doesn't mean you've met the preponderance of evidence. And they might just essentially they're saying, look, we're pretty much going to deny you, but we're going to give you the quote unquote 1%. We're going to give you one last chance to just let us change our minds, right? So essentially, this is a very last stage before denial. So again, number one, we look at a standard. Number two, the reasons why they denied you. I'm sorry, reasons why they're about to deny you. And in terms of action, is number one, we need to answer those inconsistencies or maybe quote unquote shady things that they could be concerned about in a letter. So hot tip right here. I had to take over a case where another attorney had the clients, the married couple, prepare an affidavit, which is great, but it was only one letter. An affidavit, same thing as a letter, essentially, or declaration. And that lawyer had that married couple sign the same affidavit. Just like, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it should be common sense, but this is also a lawyer that allowed this. It should be common sense that when you write your letter, it's your letter. So only you sign it. Only one person signs the letter. Okay. This is different than like a contract. Okay. So USCIS was really confused because the whole point of it was because there was inconsistent statements. So how can you have two people sign the same letter? I've been sharing this rant. It's just like this situation every year. I try to bring it up every single time. It like really balled me up, if you can't tell. I was just really frustrated because especially I can understand it was like one of y'all just because you don't do this every day, but it was a lawyer that allowed it to happen. So so no, not all lawyers are the same. All right. Gozi, I think I responded to the other question. Let's see here. Coda V petition is not qualified since February. Requested expedite 2 times and rejected. Can I help? Yeah, man, that the expedited. Sorry, I don't see the me. I should have said man, but trying to be gender neutral here. The petition is DQ'd. Oh, okay, good. You're DQ'd, so you're at the NVC stage. So you request expedite through NVC. Is that what you did? Well, of course, as you know, you probably know it's very specific reasons that they could allow expedite requests for interview. We've been fortunate in the sense that, well, unfortunately, we have some clients that have like pregnancy complications. It unfortunately seems more common these days, or at least more talked about. And we were able to get expedited in that sense. And sometimes you don't even have to show proof. Did I say that out loud? So, but sometimes you do. Okay, so you can't lie. You shouldn't lie. Moral code. Let's see here. Y'all have a lot of questions. Great. But Kodovi, for most of y'all, I would love to know more about your case. Wonder any of our premier associates can guide you a little bit better, give you a little more guidance. So, folks, what we're trying to offer here, the strategy session for 15 minutes, there is no obligation to hire. Of course, it'll be our pleasure to assist you from where you are right now or from start to finish. But essentially, think of us like a blog in a way, right? It's that way better than a blog because you're searching online for your answers and you're like, dang it, that's not exactly my situation, but it's so close. Don't even waste time with that. Sure, if you want to, just schedule an appointment with us. Look, we can't allow every single person to have a strategy session because we're humans and we don't have that much time in life in just practically in one day. But look, don't worry so much in terms of like, man, I just can't find that answer. Then think about us. Can Ting Law Group answer my question or at least point me in the right direction? We're happy to try our best, okay? Do we have the right answer for everyone or the answer for everyone? No, but it depends on your situation, okay? Jose, sorry, I was going to my spiel and missed yours. 601A waivers moving. You've been waiting 2 years? Yeah, Jose, you're probably gonna wait more than 2 years, unfortunately, because more people that have been approved lately have been waiting almost 3 to 4 years, unfortunately. Okay, so but already at 2 years, you can file a lawsuit. You don't have to wait. All right, because essentially, y'all, that is especially for 601A, that's holding y'all up from even having to do the next steps, which is the visa interview, and after that is to get the green card, right? So it's holding a lot of people up, almost like 2 to 6 years in this situation. All right, Shob, I-130 is taking longer than expected, and your daughter was born as well. Should I add something? Congratulations on your daughter's birth. You could file an I-130 to update it, but essentially, I'm assuming you said I-130 only, so that means waiting for consular for the next step. You can also provide a DS a DS form when it goes to the next step with the Consulate or National Visa Center. Okay, because the I-130 technically is the information at the time of filing. So essentially, you didn't do anything wrong. Which, by the way, folks, in terms of processing, a lot of y'all have asked me about like, oh, my online case status says something. I don't even know exactly what it says because it doesn't show on our side, but I think it says something like the next action will occur or will take like another 2 or 3 weeks, something like that. I'm here to tell you, every time I speak with a USCIS customer service rep, which last was yesterday, they tell me it's inaccurate. So when I hear inaccurate, I hear glitch. That's what I associate with. And then I also hear, what the hell's the point of it? Right? So please don't worry as much. Like just because it says 2 weeks or 4 weeks is the next step, they're probably lying. Especially folks, if you're like, you just filed last month, right? Like just, so that's one of the reasons I'm here on the channel. Just share real information with y'all. Okay, no fluff on this channel. Just down straight to the point. All right. I'm not here to hold any legal advice. I get it. Disclaimer. As a licensed lawyer of Texas, I'm supposed to say I'm not here to give you legal advice. I'm supposed to call it legal information. But truly, if you want to take action, you should not take action on the advice I share on the channel. That's just a point in the right direction. If you are going to take action on any legal information I share, you really do need to verify it with a lawyer one-on-one. Honestly, even if it's not me, it could be with someone else. It's okay. We would appreciate it, but we love to help. Patra, can you apply for citizenship after 3 years you're married to a non-born? If married to a non-US born citizen? Okay, yeah. There is no discrimination in terms of how your spouse became a citizen. So as long as you're still married to that same person that sponsored you, yes, you can file for citizenship in 3 years. And in fact, you can, practically speaking, file it 3 months, up to 3 months before that 3-year period. All right, now let me get to YouTube. Sorry about that, y'all. Sherry, IR1 and CR2 with K3 recommend after. Oh, do I recommend it after petition? Yeah, I mean, I recommend anything that you can get it done faster. So, yeah, that could be an option. But I'm sure there's more context to that you probably want to know, Sherry. So if you don't mind, I don't know if we spoke with you before. Probably not. But there's our phone number right there, okay? Or you can, but even if you're all a little shy right now or you're at work, that's cool. Just when you're on your break, just fill out the form on a website, greencardguys.com, okay? Where's my phone? There it is. Just fill it out right there, greencardguys.com. And Ali, to your question on YouTube, what is criteria for cases which is petitioned late but moved past the cases submitted earlier? I don't know what you mean, filed later than others, like recently. But late is a key word. I don't like when lawyers don't like the word late. That means like we're past a deadline or something. But I think you mean filed later than others, but moved past the cases submitted earlier. Okay, well, yeah, that's what I was talking earlier. I mean, that's basically the question of the day, right? If it's a marriage, so that case is zooming by. For those that just joined the channel, like Ali earlier, for cases zooming by, being processed faster, number one is marriage case. Number two is if the person's eligible for AOS, adjustment status, because some of y'all the sponsors are a resident. You're not going to zoom by as a resident sponsor. You need to be a U.S. citizen, and I get it. You're like, well, I can't. I'm not eligible. Then you have to wait. I mean, you don't have to wait to file, but your case is not going to zoom by because the other thing, when the sponsor is a resident, the beneficiary, the foreign national, needs to show that they have maintained non-immigrant status, which if I had to put a number to it, 90% plus don't maintain their status. So the way to get around that is eventually when the resident sponsor becomes a U.S. citizen, then it automatically waives unlawful presence. That's like the golden ticket, folks. That's why, some people joke around like, why don't you just get married to a U.S. citizen? Well, legally speaking, that is one of the reasons why it's better. Lightning. Sorry, Maria. Let me answer a couple more on YouTube real quick. Then put up Gozi's question again. Lightning, do you know anything about DS5535? Yeah, it's a bunch of bullcrap. That's what it is. It's several pages long. Even if you submit it online, return it back to the consulate, it's not timeline wise. It doesn't mean they're going to get back to you tomorrow or the next week. We've had people contact us to file a lawsuit, and they're like, "Yo, John, we filed this provided DS 5535 like 6+ months ago." And then when we did file a lawsuit, okay, and the client went to the embassy, Islamabad embassy in Pakistan, went to the clerk's office, or frozen on YouTube, and then the clerk asked, "Did you fill out the 5535 form?" Holy smokes! My client submitted it a year ago. You're now asking, and then all the clerk did was just a little search in the system, and it found it. So that's what I mean, folks. A lot of y'all are even worried about the one website, State Department says wait 6 months for admin processing. I think that's a bunch of bullshit. You shouldn't have to wait that long. Okay, you really shouldn't. I think we need to take action. Okay. A lot of attorneys I know in my network of mandamus that help with mandamus, we're taking action. Okay, don't hold back, because the U.S. government's delay on an immigration case is affecting your livelihood to take your own action on your personal life, right? And let alone for work, to gain income for your family and for yourself. It's holding y'all up. So that's why, thank you so much, Lightning 973, to ask this question. It's a bunch of bullshit. So excuse my French. Gozi, is there a possibility a NOID can be rebutted and proved? Yeah, that's what I was talking about. It sure is, but I can't guarantee that for everyone. I have to look at your NOID letter. I have to talk to you about it. And any of my premier associates can talk to you about it, guide you as well. Of course, if you want to speak with me directly, it's my pleasure. I used to do it for free, but now that I'm growing the team, I trust them to assist you. But I still do allow, my team doesn't want me to do this, I still do allow paid consult with me for at least 30 minutes, so we can look at your NOID, for example, okay? All right, Brenda, any advice when it's been 6 months since visa interview, but still in visa processing? Yes, Brenda, and that's to file a lawsuit called mandamus, based on unreasonable delay. You may have already submitted inquiry, like email inquiry to your consulate, and a lot of times the response is your case is still in admin processing. Like, what the hell does that mean? To me, it just means background check, especially if your beneficiary is from a Middle Eastern country. I hate to say it, but it's the truth. I know we're coming right on the heels of 9/11. Prayers to everyone, okay, who lost a life because of 9/11. But at the end of the day, people are thinking, "Oh, that was like 2001. That was a long time ago." No, we're still discriminating, okay? Even if they don't want to call it legal discrimination, it's still discriminating, Okay, that's ridiculous. Misty, which part of Texas? We are in Houston, Texas, is our main office, and we have another satellite office in Dallas. We're considering to quote unquote build more or open more offices around the country, but a lot of folks don't meet us in person. Which, hey, y'all want to hang out here? And happy to hang out. Go to a good restaurant in Houston. We have really good cuisine here. I don't know, man. Should I change this channel to a food critique restaurant channel? I don't think y'all would like that. Gozy, how do you send the NOID to us? So we have a form on our website, greencardguys.com. Click on the contact page, and there's a form, and there's an option to upload it right up there. Folks, if you look at other attorneys' websites, they're a little outdated. We're really quick, okay? We allow you the opportunity to provide as much information as possible, because at the end of the day, whether you intend to hire a lawyer or not, you want some advice, some guidance, right? So a lot of lawyers are hella slow. I look at a lot of lawyers' websites because I coach some lawyers. Some lawyer friends just ask me questions, and I just take a look at their website. I'm like, yo, you got to have an opportunity for people to tell you information, right? Or at least schedule an appointment. They're hella slow. It's crazy. It like mind-boggling, but I can't. And I say the same thing to my clients, my coaching clients. And it's some of y'all might think it's interesting because I practice immigration law, right? My law firm, Ting Law Group, is all about immigration law. Why do I help other attorneys? It's because our mission statement is to help you live and work in America legally. There's millions of y'all that need help. I can't help everyone. I don't know. I could die next week. I don't know. Knock on wood. You know what I mean? So I think to pay it forward, that's why it's better to, especially for me, to help other immigration lawyers. So everyone can have a better process. Sorry, I think I missed the last question. Sherry said, thank you. You're welcome. Happy to help. Benny on YouTube, you got a notice of approval. You've seen my previous videos that you can ask judge to dismiss your case. You got your green card, but never remove the conditions in time. What can you do? Well, that's interesting. How did you get green card, but not like you got the, did you get the first green card? Is that what you mean? Benny, I don't want to just like give you like a quick answer, but in general, it's sometimes preferable to ask the government attorney, Department of Homeland Security, to see if they would join your motion, your request to file it with the court. Now, typically, we've had some people call us back and say, John, the government lawyer said they're going to agree, but nothing's happened. It's been like 6 months. Well, that's because they're not going to do your job. They're not. It's not their job to do it for you, right? So you you have to file the actual motion. So ultimately, it is better to hire a lawyer for something like this. A lot of lawyers don't like to get involved when they weren't involved in the very beginning of a case, which I think is stupid, because in that case, it requires legal analysis. See, the reason is because they don't want to get on the hook. But we phrase our contract where the scope of representation is fruitful for both parties, essentially. But yeah, Benny, give us a call, okay? Okay, yes, you got a green card through your first green card through marriage. So, but yeah, we've had cases dismissed when it was you needed to file 751, but the person forgot, and we were able to get dismissed saying, hey, the new at least the 751 is on file with USCIS. We get those dismissed, and some don't want to get dismissed. Like, let's just finalize it in court. I'm like, okay, that's fine, but there's always a risk if for some reason the judge denies it, right? So we always want to try to get dismissed first. All right, hopefully that helps. But again, that's why we have a strategy session. Everyone's situation is different. All right, maybe you want to get your condition removed through the court, through a judge, because you want to get divorced from your current spouse. So then you can, I don't know, you want to, move it along. I don't know, but just sharing, different strategy. Anyway, you're doing an excellent job. Thanks for the answers to your query. Love, Pakistan. Absolutely happy to help. Darwin, hi, John. Is it possible that son's petition was located abroad will be approved ahead of your petition? You're in the U.S. You were petitioned by your wife separately. There are two different tracks. Assuming your wife is a U.S. citizen, but either way, and there's two different tracks. So, if she's a U.S. citizen, Darwin, she's likely your case with her is likely to get approved sooner, generally. But you didn't mention 485 for you, so I need to know more information about your situation. Okay, Darwin. Um, Cecile, and then I'll switch back over to TikTok. Happy to help, Cecile. Thanks for mentioning it. By the way, folks, if you appreciate the way we share information, we do have allow the opportunity for you to share your experience. If you don't mind going to reviewtinglaw.com, I greatly appreciate it. It would, and especially if you talked with one of our CARES member already previously when you called in, they try their best with their customer service. I know it's difficult when there's so many calls, but we really encourage it with our team. But Cecile, your comment is more also about still waiting on your interview date, going on 4 months at Jamaica. PD was May last year. Okay, 4 months. I think you mean, is it 4 months after documentarily qualified? We've talked to a couple of people that didn't upload the documents to get documentarily qualified. So I just want to make sure of that, because otherwise, if I don't mention it, then a lot of people will still be waiting when they should have done other steps. So hopefully you got that taken care of, and then so you're waiting for the actual interview. Okay, so hopefully it helps. But yeah, I mean, if you are document DQ'd already, Cecile, then at least 4 months is normal. Across the country is different, of course, depending on the consulate. Okay, sorry, folks on TikTok. I know that. Okay, Gozi, we'll take a look. Maria will take a look at your message, and I can't promise myself today because I already have meetings. Okay, Darwin, she's a U.S. citizen. Great to see. Okay, Cecile DQ'd. Glad to hear that. Then Darwin, since she's a U.S. citizen, I want to make sure if you're eligible to file 485 application. Let's see here. Not everyone is eligible to do that. Okay, Fina, can a green card holder help adult children get their green card? Yes, absolutely. That's called a family preference category. However, it's different than immediate relative. So the top of the hour, I was talking about cases being approved faster. That's for marriage cases where the beneficiary is here in the U.S. So in your situation, it's F2A for a green card holder to sponsor if the children are under 21, but you said adults, so yours is over 21, so that's F2B. All right, it's strategy. If your children get married, before they get married, it's a strategy call. If they get married, then you have to be, it's just different scenarios because it depends on visa bulletin. You don't want them to get married and then it drops it back, or it should stay, but you just don't want it to affect y'all. Reverend Dear Paul, status U visa approved, got married. Congrats on the U visa approved. You got married, filed 45 in June 2023. Okay. And is your spouse a U.S. citizen? Yeah, U.S. citizen. How will take? I mean, in America, not America. Since you sounds like you're in America, then average 3 to 5 months, but that's way past that now. So, but that's just average, right? That's not for every single person. But yeah, for folks that are not sure about U visa, if you've been a victim of a crime, does not have to be just based on your spouse or significant other. Let's say you were at a bar, you got hit over the head. That's battery, at least in Texas. That's a crime. You can call the police, get a police report. Even people have been a victim of drinking and driving. Even if you weren't technically hurt, that's a crime. Drinking and driving is a crime. So the obvious ones are like someone pointing a gun at you. That's a crime. So you can apply for that U visa. But more specifically, U visa is valid for 4 years. But hot tip here is that you can file for residency, AOS, as soon as it hits 3 years. And the second hot tip is that you do not want to wait until the 4th year of U visa, until your U visa expires. You don't want to wait because then you lose your chance. There is a limited exception, but you just don't want to. You don't want to try to do a slam dunk on that. Okay. All right, Misty, coming back to you after almost completed 2 years of marriage. Congratulations. If you file now, will it still be 2 years GC? Consider the wait time. So you don't actually have to wait all the way to 2 years to file. It's at the time of the decision. Okay. I verified that a couple of weeks ago. But no, I mean, ultimately, so you're going to get for the 10-year card. Okay. You're going to get that 10-year card so you can skip that remove conditions process, which is stupid. It's ridiculous. I mean, I can understand why the government wants to do that, but it's taking, they have an auto extension of 48 months. So it's just stupid. YG33, after vacating 20 years old felonies, can courts allow you to withdraw a plea and also re-enter safe plea? What do you mean vacating? So it sounds like if your felonies have already been vacated and courts, when you say courts, do you mean immigration court? We'll have to talk more about that. If it truly is vacated. Now, if you mean like dismissed because you completed a probation, that's not going to help you in terms of immigration, unfortunately, because the policy manual, I'll probably have to record a video about this. I've been saying I want to record videos for a long time, but I've been doing live shows. So I need to find some time for y'all on that. But yeah, because if it's probation completed because you completed it successfully, that's great. But for immigration purposes, it's not enough, because when you do plea bargain, that's basically saying even if you didn't do anything wrong, but you agree to the plea deal, that's for immigration purposes, that is considered a conviction. So hopefully I gave you some better guidance on that. Okay, Misty, you're in Houston too. Well, let's see if we can help you. Okay, let's hang out. Let's talk about your case. Let me go to Buck on TikTok. I don't know. I think you had a question yesterday. Here's the last question yesterday. Does our firm do all the paperwork needed to bring your spouse from a different country? Generally, yes. We guide you from start to finish. Of course, there are certain documents we need from you. Let's say like identity documents, birth certificate, marriage certificate. But ultimately, we help you from start to finish. So we do offer 3 different plans. We're transparent about documents, about fees, but unfortunately on social media, I'm not allowed to share the fees, even a consultation fee. So, but our cares team can set you up with a quote if that's what you want. But yes, absolutely. From start to finish, we're here to help. Whether the case takes 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years, we are here to help. We do not charge extra in terms of like a maintenance fee. Some law firms do that. I think that's not right, because it's really because the government is the one delaying the case typically, right? So we don't charge extra if the case takes longer. I don't know why. That's the first time I mentioned that. All right, so I can probably answer one more question, folks. By the way, we do offer a strategy session for 15 minutes at no cost to you. So you really want to take advantage of it. And don't worry, don't be shy. Some of you are all shy. Don't worry. There's no obligation to hire us. Of course, it's our pleasure to assist you from start to finish, or in the middle of the case to finish line, okay? To get the legal status you deserve. Now, so take advantage of that strategy session. One of the ways to do that is go to our website, greencardguys.com, or if you're on right here on YouTube, you can see the phone number. All right. If you're on TikTok and you're like, you forgot the website and all that, you want information, send us a DM. All right. We allow that. Some law firms don't even allow messages because they can't handle it. We can handle it. We have got a great team. So it's not just me responding to messages. It's my team. Okay. So keep that in mind. Otherwise, I'd probably be a chicken running with my head cut off. All right. So, and the secret code, folks, the secret code is TGIF. Thank goodness it's Friday. All right. Let's see. One more question. You're welcome, Misty. No vacated. Okay. You weren't told of consequences. Okay, I'm so sorry. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. One hot tip, and I'll guess I'll end here, is that just because if you had a negative situation where your attorney, I don't mean to step on any attorney's toes. We could have done something accidentally wrong, but if there's a situation where your attorney has done something wrong legally speaking, then give us a call. Okay, there is potentially a pathway, but it's limited situations, not for everyone. Okay, and you likely will have to file a complaint against your prior attorney. But this is only if your prior attorney did something legally wrong. If it's something like, oh, my attorney didn't respond to my calls, but I know about my case or something, like that's not something legally wrong. That's just more about customer service. We're still happy to talk with you, but it's a different strategy. Okay, folks? All right, we wish you the best. Tap the screen for the hearts. We greatly appreciate it. Show some love. Our marketing team would greatly appreciate it. Tasha, your comment real quick. You finally got an interview scheduled in Georgia. Hot. You're in Hotlanta. Where are you at? Can I make a video with questions they ask an interview both here and abroad? I can't find anything. Oh, you're right. You're right. Because we do have a video about that, but that's for internal purposes for clients. So I'll think of something. Tasha. Okay. But if your interview is coming up really soon, then maybe just schedule a call with us and we can give you some pointers. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Okay, Gina. Okay, you guys got me. You guys slipped a comment real quick. At our interview, officer looked at bank statement and asked about what each charge was for. He wanted to see grocery. Okay, okay, folks. So we got Gina on YouTube. Gina de Los Angeles says that they just had an interview. Officer, thank you so much, y'all, for sharing your experiences. But many of y'all can learn from each other, not just from us. Asked about each charge on a transaction activity. The officer wanted to see grocery, utilities, mortgage expenses being made from joint account. That, Gina, I don't know if you were live earlier, but that's essentially what I was alluding to earlier. Is that you need, if you're already spending money on these accounts, okay, you're already spending money. So why not just use the joint account that where you're spending the most, you're spending the most money on, essentially, or using the money is coming out of that account. Because some of y'all are using the account that's like, oh, there's not as much money in that account, so I'm just going to share that one with my spouse because I don't trust him or her. Forget all that, okay? Look, if you want your green card, you know better than that, okay? You got to do it the right way, which I think spousal expectations and just trusting each other. Not a marriage counselor, but anyway, yeah. Gina, I'm sorry that the officer had to ask for its detail like that because, yeah, sometimes it's difficult to understand, especially if you go to a bar, it'll say the restaurant sometimes. So that, some scenarios. And by the way, folks, it's not just bank account. If some of y'all are like, I want my credit card points, I love my credit card, which if you're going to use credit card, financial tip here, pay it off in full. Okay, please do. Please. Every month, please pay it off full. Don't pay that interest. It's ridiculous. So if that happens, if you have a credit card and you have a spouse on that one, that's okay too. All right. Because some of y'all use the credit card more often than the debit card or checking account. So I completely understand. You can show both. And no, you don't. Another hot tip, and I'll end with this one. You don't have to show all bank accounts. Just one. Okay. There is no rule to show all of them. All right. Hopefully that helps. On YouTube and Facebook, please click the heart and subscribe down below and click the bell for future notifications. And Gina, we may have to talk because you just had an interview. It doesn't sound like with your comment that they're going to make a quick approval. So let's talk, okay? All right, Tasha, give us a call, okay? All right, wish y'all the best. Thank you so much. And we'll see you on Monday. Take care now.